One bad day again for a Batman villain. This time it is Mr. Freeze. That's right, it's Batman One Bad Day. There are 8 of these books. This is the third one I've covered. I think the only one I've missed so far is the Riddler. Because I know there's Clayface and I think a Catwoman and a Raj Al Ghul. I don't know. There's a couple of them. Mr. Freeze, yeah, cool. Jerry Duggan is writing this and he's a good writer. I say that. This book was fine. We'll get into it more. I've always been a supporter of Mr. Freeze as a character. I remember watching the animated series the first time, and when it got to the Freeze episode, I'm like, oh my god, that guy has a freeze gun, and he loves his wife, and he might be German, and it's cool. And I'm like, that is awesome. And then the more I read about the character, I'm like, this is my shit. Just a big guy in a dumb suit shooting ice at you. I love it. I love that his name is Mr. Freeze, and his name is actually Freeze, but it's spelt like fries. It's awesome. The problem with Mr. Freeze is that nobody can tell another story with him opposed from the Nora stuff. It's always the Nora stuff. You don't really escape it with him. And even this issue doesn't escape it, so there is some flashbacks in here. We'll talk about it loosely. It opens up with the Nora and Victor relationship, and she was out with some friends, and she's starting to cough a little bit. She doesn't sound too good, and Victor's all caught up in his work, and she's like, you should come out more and hang out with us. And he's like, well, I don't want that. She's just kind of living her life, and he thinks he can control her, and it's like, no, you can't, buddy. Don't try that. So we cut to the present day, which is not the present day in continuity. This is an early story with Batman and a young Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson's still a little baby boy here. He's a little baby Robin. They are fighting a guy named Meek, and Meek is an old character, so he was harassing some carolers. They take him down, leave him for the cops. And then Dick asks the question, are we ever going to, rehabilitate him? Is he ever going to be good? Do we use the carolers as bait? And Bruce is like, well, we needed to do that because Meek's a guy you can't really fix. He's like, do you really believe we can't fix him? Really? Yes. This Bruce is like, we can't fix any of them. Some of them are so bad, we can't fix them. And Robin is just like, well, why? And because it's winter time, it's Christmas, Alfred's putting some, batarangs on a tree. He gives a little starro for Dick to put on top of the tree. It's very cute. And this Bruce is like, well, I'm going to head back out on his mattress alone, see if I can figure some stuff out. Bruce has kind of been saying, maybe there's one guy he thinks he can rehabilitate. We'll see what it is, though. Maybe he will. This Bruce Wayne is kind of a dick, and I get that. It makes sense that this guy is kind of aggressive and all over the place. He comes back as Batman. He's going to leave his matches again. Doesn't even give time to digest anything going on. But he also gives Alfred and Dick a little bit less on hey, I think Mr. Freeze is somebody we could rehabilitate. And then let's get a little bit more of a lesson on Mr. Freeze. Let's talk about the origin some more. Literally I think 3 pages dedicated to what we all know about Mr. Freeze at this point. And I know everyone, a comic could be anybody's first comic, but that's all you know about Freeze. So I don't think you really needed to reiterate it. We get a nice page where we see, hey, how is Matches going to behave today? Well, he's got some money that could be counterfeit. He's got some cologne that sounds too expensive. Maybe he had a good score. It's a good way to behave. So he goes out to the bar's Matches, talking about a big heist he just did. He thought he got this gas truck, but he actually ended up getting a liquid nitrogen truck. Doesn't know what he's going to do to get that money. But there's a guy at the bar who's like, I got an in with Freeze. My ex is rolling with him these days. I think I could help you sell that liquid nitrogen truck if you need to get it off your hands, Mr. Malone. It's like, oh, okay. See what you got for me. And who is the ex? I guess it's Frostbite, who's the sexy girl character that you could connect to Mr. Freeze because they all gotta have a Harley Quinn sometimes. It's fun. So I guess it's the next day. They're setting up a plan to bring him down. Frostbite stops a truck with the Gotham City Police Department in it, takes him under a bridge where they get trapped, and Freeze is just standing there I am going to freeze you all and take your shit. Before they can do that, Batman shows up. And Freeze, he doesn't even pay him any attention. He does not care about him in the slightest. He's like, I can defeat you. I can defeat the cops. None of this matters to me. Let's just get this over with. I just want the shit, okay? So they kind of fight, and you see that Batman tests out something to get Frostbite all covered in like this weird purple goo. And you see what's going on here. What's actually the setup for this? It's all Robin's idea. He had this idea because he wants Freeze to think about his wife. So it's a personal story. He's like, I wanted to do something nice for your wife, Nora, and it catches Freeze off guard. The cops at Frostbite all kind of like slow down. Like, kid, what are you talking about? What is this? He's like, well, I have to hear out this kid. He literally has the gun aimed at Dick, ready to shoot him. Doesn't do it because it's his wife. He goes with Batman and Robin. They head down to LexCorp, to this old factory. He's like, we are going to set you up with everything you need to fix your wife. We know that's what you're obsessed with. Here you go. I have resources. I can get you all your old equipment, all your old information. You can do that and set yourself up. They leave him to see if he's going to do it. And as they leave, they're going to like go investigate again, this time dressed up as Santa, because it's not a Batman story unless he redresses up into a different suit every night. And as that's going on, we get like some old narration from Nora talking to Victor about like, you are a genius and you wanted to control me and keep me into your life. And my therapist always thought like, maybe when I'm not around you, you think time stops for me, but it doesn't. Like, I have a life, I have things going on independently for me. I don't need you to control me or want me when I'm gone. I need you to use that big brain of yours to change the world. And as she is saying that to him in the past, we see in the present that Victor is working super hard on finding a cure for her, but nothing is really working. He can't really crack the code. And then we see that he's lying in bed with her while she's still sick, and he's still obsessed with just like keeping her for himself, not letting the nurses in, not letting her friends in to see her. He wants to find the way to save her, but he can't do it, and in the present, he is breaking his lab because he can't find the cure again. He cannot solve it. He walks away from the building being burned, leaving a picture of Nora behind. And Dick finds the picture, and you see Batman's got to make a quick stop before he heads back home, so he's going to let Dick head off on his own. Goes to talk to one of Nora's old friends. And the idea is like, Victor was obsessed. We couldn't see her because of him, and he was a sadistic disease that ruined her life. It sucks. And once again, Batman comes back home. He's like, okay, I'm going to go put on the sunsuit, and we're going to head back out. Okay, let's go do it. So they head back out. He put a tracker on Freeze earlier. They head out to his lair, I guess. They find him, and it's a little bit of a fight, and you just see Dick is a little bit more nice than what Bruce is doing in this book, but Bruce is very much like, you stole time from her. You didn't even try to get her out of the ice. You just wanted to keep her for yourself, you sick, sadistic fuck. That's all you wanted from all of this. That's all you wanted from her, is to control her. The worst thing you ever did for her was marry this woman. Like, you ruined her, and he is just giving all this bullshit to Freeze, and he blasts him down, kind of like drops Batman to another level, but because of that, Robin goes in for the attack. They blast to another room where he finds Nora still in suspended animation. It's like, don't look at her, she's just for me, she's just mine. And you see Dick's like, you could have changed, you could have been better, why did you do this? He's like, boy, this is what I've wanted. I like it this way. I'm a terrible old German dude, okay? She's with me all the time. She won't see other people, she won't spend my money. And I'm like, that's weird, but okay. I have her forever. This is all I've wanted. And Dick's like, you are an embarrassment. Is this what you want to do with that big brain of yours? Which is what we heard Nora say to him earlier. And he's like, what did you say? Why did you say that? And it's the distraction they need for him to lose. And that's what defeats. So the place is going to crumble down. We see that Dick carries Nora out of there in her big ball. And through the wreckage, Batman gets the last blow on Freeze. And he's down for the count. I'm like, that's cool. That's kind of fun. And they cut to later when the cops finally show up. They arrest Freeze, but Freeze has something he wants to say to Robin. He's just like, thank you for what you did to Nora. I have made a lot of mistakes, but she's never been one of them. At least I don't think she was. Maybe I am the mistake for her. But he also whispers something into Robin's ear because he made a discovery while doing his research. Doesn't say what it is. We don't see what it is. We'll talk about it later when we head back to the Batcave. We're going to keep Nora in storage in the LexCorp building that Bruce just bought, and we'll figure it out, you know? So we made a big just, I guess, breakthrough in some sort of process, but we'll deal with it later because it's Christmas night. Let's go be a family and just have fun. You know, I love what Alfred says. He's like, now let's finish wrapping up Master Bruce so we can unwrap him again on Christmas morning and redress his many burns and wounds. Because it's Christmas, Dick Grayson. We're going to make sure your dad is bleeding out. I think that's kind of fun. And then we go to Blackgate and we just hear Freeze is kind of talking about like the breakthrough that was in cryogenetics and all that stuff. And it was gifted to Wayne Enterprises, and the breakthrough should allow all four corners of the globe to receive vaccines and medicines that help people, that can help with the refrigeration of all that stuff. Just kind of like a good gift for the new year because Victor did the right thing in the end. And he's happy he makes a snow angel. It's cute. Yay! It's fine. Like, I have no real issues with this book. It plays out as it could. The artwork is spectacular and looks gorgeous. Robin and Mr. Freeze in particular look really cool. It is a little on the nose and a little bit like we've seen this a million times before. I guess it's fine. But just to get a Mr. Freeze book out there to reinvigorate the love of this character, it does enough. Yay! It's completely fine. That's pretty much it. It's fine. I don't hate it. Freeze does the right thing in the end because he is one of the ones we could save. Hooray! I don't know. It's just okay. I didn't like it as much as the other two. It's fascinating, though, that we can only tell one story with this character, or that anybody only wants to tell one story with this character. So Batman, One Bad Day, Mr. Freeze, number 1. I am going to give a 5 out of 10. And thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.